Hello there, friends, and welcome back to more Bravely Default. Last time, we arrived here at Florum and took care of the entirety of the Blood Rose Legion. And honestly, they weren't all that different, though we got to have a somewhat decent heart-to-heart with Einherja, though we were unable to convince her to defect from the Eternians. Her will was just too strong. But yeah, we were able to take down the Blood Rose Legion. We didn't get any further details on what exactly might be going on, but we did free Florum from their clutches once more. Today, I'm going to be splitting this video into two parts somewhat. The same video, just two different segments. This first segment is entirely skippable if you do not care about level grinding or do not want to watch it or anything like that. And the second segment will be us tackling two of the crystals, primarily the wind and water crystals, and seeing what happens when we do awaken them, if we can at all. So, discussing the first part of the video, this will be tackling our leveling segments. I want to go ahead and mention that this is entirely skippable once again. But the main reason why I'm going to be leveling once more, just so quickly after my previous level grinding session, is because it dawned on me that I feel like I should probably, since this is a playthrough of Bravely Default, I don't want to just find one composition, stick with it, and go through the rest of the game. We still have quite a bit of ways to go before the credits roll on this game, and I don't want to be stuck on just one composition. I want to be able to showcase a lot of different builds. And unfortunately, I have tried to jump around jobs as much as possible in order to showcase that, but we are kind of reaching a point where I can't do that without having a lot of different jobs at higher levels so my damage isn't falling behind. So, the way to rectify that is by leveling up more jobs. Now, again, I do want to note, similar to the other level grinding session, that this is entirely optional. If you have found a composition and you're playing along and you have found a build that has worked for you so far and that you like, go right ahead. From this point onward in the game, the difficulty of boss fights and encounters in general are mostly derived from your own strategic capabilities, as your level really doesn't matter other than your max HP. Most of your effectiveness comes from your own creative ability with your jobs and builds. So, if you have something that you're comfortable with, just keep on trekking along. I will continue to give recommendations on if you need to make a backup plan or whatnot. So keep an eye out. But this is again entirely optional. So in terms of what I will be covering, I am going to be trying to reach the level cap on a few jobs. Now, this will not be a super long session. It'll probably be covering maybe two jobs at most on each character. But for Tiz, I'm going to be looking at capping Swordmaster and Pirate. Idia, I'm looking at capping Ninja and Ranger. Agnes, I'm looking at capping Black Mage and Time Mage. Or, well, I don't think I'll be capping Time Mage, but I want to get very high level with it. To get tier 6 magic with it, but I will be capping Black Mage. And then Ring a Bell, I will be capping Spirit Master, and I'll probably begin leveling up a little bit of the Salve Maker. I probably won't go too far, but we'll see. But that's kind of my game plan today, is 1 to 2 jobs. Ring a Bell, honestly, I'm only focusing on Spirit Master. In terms of strategy, nothing really changes all that much. We're just going to be utilizing acrobatics as our main tools of dealing damage. And in terms of weapons, nothing's really going to change. If you want to utilize the Flame Tongue, as we are going to be going up against enemies who are also weak to fire, just like the previous grind session, you can. But one thing I am going to do is go to my adventurer buddy. Now, this is unfortunately only something you can do if you have Narendai Village. I'm going to buy a few accessories here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a Taunt Bangle. I'm going to buy a Alarm Earring. And I'm going to buy a Gale Hairpin. Gale Hairpin raises our first strike rate, Alarm Earrings lower enemies' first strike rate, and the Taunt Bangle increases enemy encounter rates, alongside the actual regular encounter rate. So we're gonna go ahead and equip. We're gonna go ahead and equip the Taunt Bangle on Anyes. We'll go ahead and equip the Alarm Earrings on Ring-a-Bell, as those are the two I want to prioritize. And then I think Idia, I'll equip the Gale Hairpin, which I already have one, actually. And then Tiz, I'll go ahead and just equip the Hyper Bracers for right now to increase his attack power. That way, so we have a very high aggro chance. Encounter rate. We have a very, very high encounter rate. We have a higher chance of getting first strike, and we have a lower chance of actually being ambushed. This will increase our chances of getting a lot of EXP. So what are the enemies that we're looking for? Well, it's actually very similar to the Chapter 4 grind that I made. Right in front of Florum, right here in the gardens, this is where we're going to be doing our grind set. Now, these Rukas here are not exactly what we're looking for. Though, just as a bit of a teaser for a future episode, these guys do actually have a Vampirism ability that I'll be looking for. So if that happens this episode, that'll be interesting. Though I'm not on Vampire. So we're going to be sweeping them. They give decent bonuses themselves. But what we're really looking for, and they have a fairly low spawn rate, is the 6 Rafflesias. We had the 6 Mandragoras in the we had the 6 Mandragoras in Chapter 4. Now we have 6 Rafflesias. This is a very good spot for level grinding, as you can see in the bottom right screen. I do not think this is the best place to level grind, but it is a very good one, especially for Chapter 5. And we have our first job mastery already. Idia learned Frantic Fighting from the Ninja. That is their capstone ability. Let's go ahead and take a very quick look at that before we continue forward and swap her over to Ranger. Frantic Fighting. The limit on the number of attacks rises from 16 to 32. Remember, the number of attacks that you can land increases your damage output by quite a bit. It's another multiplier alongside your strength multiplier and whatnot. Let's go ahead and swap her over to Ranger. And in terms of what she can equip, what is she looking at right now? 194 on the Ancient Bow. Honestly, that's probably fine. Let's go ahead. Is there anything I can put on her that will help her stats? I don't think so. So we'll just, we'll have to move on from there. It's okay. But yeah, so we've already got one mastery. That's how fast this is gonna go. And ideally, we can just kind of just push the button and we'll go on our way. So I'm not going to bore you with this level grinding session, so I'll just give you the highlights like I did last time. And I'll see you back whenever I have these jobs capped. Alright, it wasn't too long before Tiz reached level 14 on Swordmaster and obtained the capstone ability Free Lunch. Set MP cost to 0 for 2 turns. This is a powerful ability that really is super abusable by magic and physical jobs alike. And speaking of physical jobs, we're going to be moving Tiz over to Pirate and beginning his trek towards his ability. We're going to go ahead and just give him Katana lore so that we don't have to worry about his weapon. The Kiku Uchi Munji is perfectly fine. Actually, let's give him the Mutsu no Kami for right now, as it'll do way more damage. There we go. Also, I do want to quickly note that these mobs only spawn in the daytime, so once you've hit nighttime, you have to go back into Florum to respawn them. So, I got Idia to job level 13, learning Hawkeye along the way, which is the Ranger's specialty as a support ability, and Precision. When all conventional attacks hit, damage will rise according to the number of attacks. Specifically, the damage is increased by 3% for each attack. This adds up really quickly if you land every single one of your attacks, which is based on your accuracy, if you have a lot of attacks that you just landed, and if you fully braved. You can probably guess where I'm going with this composition, but I'll keep you guessing for a little bit. Now, I think I'm gonna go ahead and continue leveling a few extra things on Idia, just so I have access to it. So, Idia, I think I'm going to move you over to Dark Knight for the time being. At least for a little bit. We haven't... I'll give Dark Knight a little bit more time to shine later down the road. But for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and remove, like, I don't know, damage this person. We'll give you two-handed. And then we'll give you a really powerful sword. Bloodblade is fine, I guess. 225 attack power will be perfectly okay. And we'll keep on going. And now Tiz joins the gang with another master job, learning a few extra things. First things first, he learned Axe Lore, which I believe we already have seen, raises his arm's aptitude for access to S rank. And then he also learned Torrent, which requires 2 BP to use, but it unleashes a physical water attack, dealing 0.3 times the damage of a conventional attack up to 16 times on one target. Basically adding up to a lot more than regular attack. Especially if they're weak to water. It's a very powerful ability, though it is quite expensive. And then we also learned Amped Strike. Deal 4 times the damage of a conventional attack to one target, though it does require a lot of MP. It requires 161 MP. Tiz has 323 on Pirate. It requires half of your MP. Now, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. It requires MP. What did we just get from Swordmaster? Set MP cost to 0. I'm sure you can probably guess where I'm going with this strategy. But for right now, I'm going to be moving Tiz onto something maybe a little out there. Freelancer. We have not seen Freelancer in a long time. But this is where we're going to be going. As I want something from Freelancer that is going to be very important for... I hate to admit it, but there will be another grind session later down the road. Once we have reached the point where we are at the best possible time to grind, I will reveal it. And honestly, Freelancer is very important to the strategy. Oh, I missed it there. Oh well. Well, that's the first time I've actually lost the Unscathed. It makes sense though, because Dark Knight and Freelancer are very weak right now, because I don't have them at a high job level. Which is the whole reason why I am doing this whole thing in the first place. So, back to it. So, the main reason why I wanted to level up Freelancer is because at job level 10, they learn JP up. Earn 1.2 times the normal amount of job points. Note that this effect does not stack with similar effects from items. I want to go ahead and equip that on my boy Tiz. Let's go ahead and get rid of counter amp and just equip it. There we go. Nicely done. Freelancer actually does require the most JP in order to actually cap, which is pretty interesting. So, this will really help it out. So, from capping Spirit Master, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the stuff we got. We'll just start at job level 10 and work our way down. Greater Spirit Ward. All elemental damage to all allies is halved for 4 turns. It requires 2 BP, but that's pretty strong. Fairy Ward. Render all allies immune to poison, blind, silence, sleep, paralyze, dread, berserk, confuse, charm, doom, death, and stop for 5 turns. Pretty much every single ailment in the entire game you can nullify with this ability. Moderation. For all allies and enemies with 1 BP or more, reduce BP by 1. For those with negative BP or less, raise BP by 1. It basically keeps people mostly as close to 0 BP as possible, removing any negative or positive charge. Enigma. Nullify all elemental damage taken by all allies for 4 turns. This is super powerful, as it pretty much negates every single magical attack outside of non-elemental magical attacks that can come your way. Super duper powerful, especially if you don't want to rely on Reflect or whatnot. And finally, maximize HP. This is the main thing I was actually looking for, surprisingly. Maximum HP doubles only during battle. So, ring a bell, just for example, let's say his current maximum HP is 3,637. So, once we get into combat, his maximum HP will raise to roughly, 7,200 or so, which is really, really strong. I'm just gonna say that right now. Especially if we pair it with something like White Wind, we have a very powerful healing tool. If he can heal twice the amount of HP of everyone else's maximum, it's super duper powerful. Anyway, back to it. We're almost done here. Actually, I don't even need to say that, because we hit another milestone just right there. with Anya's hitting job level 14 with Black Mage, learning one of my favorite abilities in the entire game, Group Cast All. Enable group casting even for normally non-group cast magic. However, this does not apply to magic targeting yourself. This will allow for magic like, let's say for example, the White Mage's Protect spell, right? Instead of it targeting just one person, it'll target everyone. Or another example, it would be Holy or Death. That will target every single enemy instead of just one. Now, it means that you can no longer single target enemies with those abilities or allies with your buffs, but group-wide stuff is still quite useful. Now, we're going to move her over to Time Mage so she can learn Time Magic level 6. Also, I moved Ryuba back to Salve Maker, just as a note. So, I've actually hit level 65 after grinding this. That's, what, 7 levels? So, I've actually went ahead and turned off EXP gain, as I do not want to gain any more. I went ahead and barred myself at this level, so I don't want to hit any higher. So, obviously we literally just got Dark Knight, but yeah, I capped it on Idia. That was much easier than I thought. I'll be utilizing Dark Knight a little bit as kind of Idia's second combination, along with Spell Fencer, if I'm not going to use Ninja. So I'm glad I got that capped. Speaking of, while I am continuing to level on her Time Mage until she hits job level 14, I'll be leveling Spell Fencer on Idia. In terms of everyone else, Tiz is almost to job level 14 on Freelancer, and Ringville is working his way through with Salve Maker. This will be the last batch of jobs I work on, so we're almost there. And with Time Mage done, we obtained a few extra things. First things first, we obtained Slow World. Lower the BP of all allies and enemies by 1 every 2 turns. This works even if the character with the support ability is in the KO state. This can be utilized to stall enemy encounters if you are trying to get an ability of some kind, or to stop an enemy from defaulting and braving too much. And then we also obtained Time Magic level 6, which was a very important thing I wanted to grab, which gives us Graviga, Re-Raise, and Meteor. Very powerful spells. Magic attack 30% up, and Hasten World. Raise the BP of all allies and enemies by 1 at the end of each turn, which basically doubles the BP count that we gain every single turn. This is a very abusable support ability that I'll be utilizing for a few strategies. So, with our new jobs equipped, I went ahead and went back to our original composition, just to showcase a few of the extra bonuses that we might have gotten. But first things first, paying a visit to Grand Ship's Magic Shop will give you access to White Magic, Black Magic, and Time Magic level 6 tiers of magic. So we're just gonna go ahead and buy all that we can. Now I have saved up, and we're gonna go ahead and check up on Narenda Village. The compound shop has been complete, giving us the Demon Tail. So there we go. So the final shop that we need to hit level 9 with is the Hill Parts shop, which will give us the Dark special move parts. So let's go ahead and start that going. It's a little late, but that's fine. We're going to go ahead and save up, and we're going to head towards the Wind Temple. If you skip the grind spot, here we go, Wind Temple time. Let's go see if Awakening the Crystals has any major change on what's been going on. Here at the Temple of Wind, nothing really has changed. Similar to every other dungeon, if you have not collected any of the loot, you can. If you have not collected the Summon Hraesvelgr, you can also do that here. By the way, as a quick side note, these are now my new support ability setups. Nothing too crazy for Tiz. Idia is now running Precision, Frantic Fighting, and Hawkeye. Anius is running Group Cast All and Healing Lore. Ringabel is running Maximize HP, Default Guard, and Item Critical. In terms of the katana changes, nothing really is all that bad. Thanks to the Hawkeye, she should be able to land her attacks quite often, and her damage output should be quite high. But once you've made your preparations, let's go ahead and head inside.
look!
The crystal has reverted to its pre-awakened state. Do you know the cause of this, Eri?
The crystals have never been awakened before, so I'm new at this too.
But you are a Crystal Fairy, right?
Yes, but that doesn't mean I know everything. Should we perform the rite of awakening?
I think so.
Wait, something lurks nearby.
That's Arthros, the bringer of doom! So the creature is back as well.
We'll just have to defeat them again!
Yep, it's not just the Eternians, it's, of course, the crystal bosses too. Orthros, round 2, buddy. Orthros hasn't really changed all that much. You want to make sure that you can that you turn off their powered-up forms by utilizing their own weaknesses against them. And other than that, you just kind of have to deal with their damage. There's nothing really too crazy about this. What I'm going to go ahead and do for right now, though, is I'm going to try and lower the magic attack of one of them. We're going to be trying to focus on the fire version, as the ice version of Orthros actually has an ability that I want to see if I can try and get. So, Idia, we're going to go ahead and imbue Blizzaga onto your weapon, so that we can begin trying to take down the fire version of Orthros. Agnes, we are going to utilize Time Magic, and we are going to cast Haste. We don't even need to cast Hastega anymore. We can just regularly cast Haste to save a lot of MP, because it'll affect everyone. Now, I think I'll probably still... yeah, I'll just go ahead and use regular Haste. It gives the same effect, which is quite nice. And then Ring a Bell, I'm actually going to utilize the Genome ability, Hellfire. This will lock the Blizzard version of Orthros out of his ability. There we go. It doesn't even need to do that much damage, but because it hit his weakness, that's all it needs. That way we don't have to worry about Blizzard, as they need to be both powered up in order for it to work. And then this turn, we will set Idia to land an attack against the Fire Orthros to get them out of line. Then Agnes, next, she's going to cast Re-Raise on every single party member. And Ring a Bell, let's go ahead and set up White Wind and heal ourselves up. Look at that damage! That's without any buffs. That's just weaknesses plus her abilities. Frantic Fighting plus Hawkeye plus Precision, it just increases the amount of damage she deals by so much. It's so powerful. We're going to go ahead and default with Tiz. We're going to default with Idia. Agnes, we've set our heals up. We're going to go ahead and just heal up with regular Kira. Actually, we'll have her default, because Ring a Bell, with his now insanely high HP pool, can deal quite a bit of damage. So we're going to utilize Curse on the fire version of Orthros, because we want to take him down as soon as possible. So regular attack and bite, not anything we need to worry about. Tiz, let's go ahead and Brave, and we're going to do Free Lunch, and we're going to utilize Amped Strike, which normally would show that you don't have enough MP in order to utilize it twice in a row, but thanks to Free Lunch, we won't have to worry about that lock. And then Idia will just have her attack twice, and then Agnes will just do a Kira, and Ring a Bell can just default. There's the Kira, 22,000 HP. Oh, look at that damage. Not even S-rank affinity anymore. Free Lunch. Oh my goodness. That's non-crit damage. Deep Freeze. There we go. Genome learned. All right, we need to lock the Ice Orthros out of his ability. So let's have Idia default for right now. We're gonna have Agnes speed us up again by casting Haste, and then we're gonna have her also cast Quick. This'll increase Idia's attack power even higher, as she'll have a higher chance of landing all of her hits. And then we're going to utilize our Hellfire to deal the fire damage to lock the Orthros out of his ability. There we go. Counter. Hellfire. Now, it looks like we might be in a bit of a bad spot, but honestly, it doesn't really matter all that much. We're just going to Free Lunch, and then I'm going to actually lower the physical defense of the Fire Orthros and attack the Fire Orthros again. We're going to use Agnes to quicken everyone, and then we're going to have Ring a Bell heal everyone up with White Wind. Again, he has 8,000 HP right now, which will fully heal everyone else. There's Quick. Shell Split. Max damage right there without much effort at all. We already got the ability that I want, and this Ice Orthros is going to be going into the aggressive stance. So for right now, let's go ahead and just provoke him. So we can swap over to our abilities safely. We're going to re-up Quick on our all allies. And then we're going to have Ring a Bell go ahead and lower his defenses with Curse. There's Curse. Provoke. By Raga. Regular attack. This doggo is not going to know what hit him. Now, you would say that this might be a little stupid because I literally just grinded a crap ton and this is really stupid. But this just goes to show that, honestly, like, my base stats haven't really been adjusted all that much. It's all based around your job levels and what gear you have acquired. I haven't really changed much of my strategy. I just have a lot more coverage now, which is really helping. So, let's finish this guy off. I doubt it'll take much more effort than it already has. My gear has not changed at all. It's just my job levels that have influenced what I'm about to do here. So, let's take him down. Max damage. Look at that. B-rank katanas, and that's all it takes. Now, we will not be sticking to this composition. We'll be moving around a little bit, but I just wanted to go ahead and show off this powerful composition. Genome Drain supportability for Ring a Bell. There we go.
Whew. That was rough. I don't remember that being as hard last time.
I thought the same.
Hurry up and awaken the crystal before we are beset by more beasts! Of course. I'm ready, Eri. I know you've done this 4 times already, but do you have any questions? Time to get started, Agnes. Are you ready?
Yes. Let us begin.
Not yet! Just a little longer! More! Keep going! Still not enough! You can do this! Stop! That's it! You did it! You awakened the crystal! Well done, Agnes!
Have you checked your brooch, Eri?
Yes, the wind crest is lit.
Phew. Good.
Are you okay, Agnes?
Yes, I am used to it now. I need a short rest, but then we should head to the next temple.
Okay.
I find it weird that there's no fanfare for this awakening, unlike the others, until we exit the cutscene. It's just a little sad that we have to do this all over again, even if we get more time with these people, these characters that I've grown to like and care about. Inevitability. This world, it's different from the previous one, but in subtle ways. Yes, and it's not simply a matter of going back in time or a lapse of memory. It's the same world, and yet it's different. Events in this world are happening just a bit differently than we've seen. And the ladies here are different too. But that suits me fine. Keeps things fresh and exciting. A pity your personality hasn't changed too. This world does differ ever so slightly from the last one. But why do you suppose the Great Chasm is in the exact same place? And why does Norende Village have to be swallowed up every time? Now that you mention it, that is strange. I know, maybe someone or something is out to get you, Tiz. Please, Idia, Don't make me out more. Don't make me out to be more than I am. Perhaps Mirande Village holds some secret we have yet to fathom. Who knows? But I have a feeling you're not far off the mark. So the opening of the Great Chasm is inevitable? I mean, it was the battle scene for the Great War between DeRosso and Sage Ilyana. Maybe that has something to do with it? Or maybe not. Maybe someone just does have a grudge against his. But we're not done here yet. While we did awaken the Wind Crystal, I think it would probably be best if we just make sure that everything is somewhat okay. And let's go and awaken the Water Crystal. I think that maybe having the seas open to explore will help a little bit in traversal later down the road, especially when it comes to dealing with Eternians. So let's go ahead and take care of it now. Collect your treasure chests, explore the area if you haven't, yada yada yada. You understand what I'm about to say. Go ahead and save up, make your compositions, because you probably can guess what exactly you have to do here. I'm not going to make any major adjustments. I don't even need to really heal. Let's just head inside.
Look!
This crystal has also reverted.
Should we perform the Rite of Awakening?
I think so.
Wait, something lurks nearby.
That's Rusalka, the purveyor of doom!
Another creature back from destruction!
Here they come!
Welcome back, Rusalka. I did not miss you very much. Now, Rusalka is notoriously known to probably be the hardest of the 4 crystal bosses among the Bravely community, at least of the people that I've interacted with. And while the first encounter, I do agree with that sentiment, now that we have a lot more powered up abilities, Rusalka is probably the second easiest of the bunch in my personal opinion, as you'll see here soon. Rusalka, in terms of her abilities, she doesn't have anything really new up her sleeve, though she, similar to Orthros, does have an ability that I want to see if I can try and get. So we're going to actually go to Idia and utilize Karai on Ringabel, as he's our vampire, and I'm going to just set up everything else with our party. Ringabel, I'm going to have him, White Wind, to set up for a very powerful heal later down the road, and see if we can get the ability. We're looking for the ability Aqua Rega, which is a powerful water attack that has a chance of lowering defense, which honestly we have a lot of, but I want to go ahead and see if I can get it. We're actually going to use Tiz. Actually, nah, we won't use Tiz for this. We'll have Tiz default. We'll have Idia go ahead and prep Thundaga, and then we'll have Agnes prep Re-Raise. You can kind of see what the gimmick now is with this composition, as Agnes preps a bunch of utility for us to utilize, and then we just kind of go ham, as we kind of can be as greedy as we want with a group-wide re-raise at our fingertips. We're gonna curse because Rusalka is physical-based. Regular attack, that's fine. We'll go ahead and I would provoke, but I don't think that's really worth doing. Agnes, let's go ahead and just cast a Protect. As, again, physical-based boss. Might as well. And let's just default with Ring a Bell. Aqua Rega! Wrong target, but that's exactly what I'm going to be looking for. So, let's go ahead with Tiz. I'm going to go ahead and default, actually. Idia, Karai, on Ring a Bell. See if we can land this. Agnes, we're going to start prepping quick. Ideally, we can get this done here fairly soon. We don't have to worry about her Seep, because Seep still hits like a truck, even at this level. There's the quick. White Wind, heal up. Seep! Okay, we have to default now. Everyone default. Yeah, it still hits pretty hard, and she still makes the clones, which is really, really unfortunate. We don't have Breaking Wave, unfortunately, so we're gonna have to play this legit. Unfortunately, I don't have any status ailments, so that's a bit of a downer. So let's go ahead and just have Tiz, we'll have him provoke, and then we'll have him utilize Nothing Ventured. Idia, we will have her, default. Then we'll have Agnes go ahead and re-up her haste. And then we'll have Ringabel go ahead and heal everyone up. There we go. We don't want to keep these Rusalkas on for too long. Hey, there we go. Genome learned. I'm glad that worked out. There we go. Nothing ventured. The counter amp is gonna really help here. So we're just gonna nothing ventured again, and then provoke. And Idia's gonna go on the offense here with breaking wave, and then attack anything that moves afterwards. Agnes is going to re-up the quicks because I think they're gonna be gone here soon. So we'll just re-up the quick, and we'll also re-up our defenses. And then Ringabel, we're gonna go ahead and just default. Nothing ventured, there's quick to re-up things, there's protect, and now this has a lightning effect to it instead of the water effect that it normally has, so this should take down most of them. Yeah, there we go. There's one down. I think that was one that was countered. Then Idiot's just gonna go down the line and take down all the clones. I think we found the real one. Look at that damage, dude. It's so crazy. There's like ventured, and that's the main Rusalka down, we know by the huge explosion. So let's just finish this off. Free lunch amp strike should be more than enough to finish this. Let's do it. Yeah! Pretty easy fight. 12,000 EXP, not bad. And Agnes gained a job level and learned an eye for an eye support ability. Nice.
Hurry up and awaken the crystal before we are beset by more beasts!
Of course. I'm ready, Eri.
I'm sure you have the hang of it, but if there's anything you'd like to go over again, just ask. Time to get started, Agnes. Are you ready?
Yes. Let us begin.
Not yet! Just a little longer! More! Keep going! Still not enough! You can do this! Stop! That's it! You did it! You awakened the crystal! Well done, Agnes!
Have you checked your brooch, Eri?
Yes, the water crest is lit.
Phew. Good.
Are you okay, Agnes?
Yes, I am used to it now. I need a short rest, but then we should head to the next temple.
Okay.
Oh, look at your Vestal garb, Agnes. It's all threadbare.
Huh? Oh, what should we do?
It has seen a lot of use of late.
Let's go and ask the sage to repair it.
Alright, well, I guess we have our next destination in mind. We've awakened 2 of the crystals, including the wind and water crystal, so we can sail on the open seas now. And with Agnes's vessel garb nearing its limit, next time on Bravely Default, we're going to be paying a visit to Sage Juliana and seeing if we can fix her garb. So, with that said, I'll see you soon.